This is my 2020 Yamaha Wolverine X4. Just got it, actually just put the tires on it today as a matter of fact. Haven't even pulled it out of the garage yet. It barely fits out of the garage. But today the project that I'm working on is this KFI Assault Series 5,000 pound synthetic rope wide winch. And I've got everything pulled out of the box. And I wanted to kind of show you guys what comes with it, kind of the quality of it and that sort of thing. I searched high and low, looking at all sorts of different winches, trying to find the right one. I mean, reading on forums, everybody says everything from, you know, KFI to Warren all the way to the Badlands from Harbor Freight. So I think I found kind of a middle of the road winch, maybe even higher than middle of the road. I think this thing was about 450 bucks from my dealer, and then I ordered the separate mounting plate. So it's gonna go mounted obviously underneath there. It's an added bumper that came with it, so we'll see how the mounting plates mount up. So I'll put this thing on a tripod and let's just take a look. I already unboxed it. There's the box there. I don't really care much about that, honestly, but after looking at everything, I couldn't find much about the KFI winches, specifically the Assault series. The Stealth is the older one that's been around for a few years. The Assault winch is, from what I understand, their newest one. So let me get set up and we'll just dive into this and take a look and see what came with it. Okay, so right off the bat, let's just take a look at the winch real quick. This one is the 50-foot wide version, 50 foot of synthetic rope, and it's the 5,000 pound. So it's the AS 50W Assault series. Apparently what makes this one different than the Stealth is it's a newer version. The way I can tell it's different is this end. So right off the bat, you can kind of hear it click. It feels really solid. You can feel it kind of detent in, and then it says engage and release for free spool. That feels pretty good. It's hefty. It's got cage nuts in the bottom instead of threaded, which is nice so that you can run your bolts up in there. It gives you a little bit of leeway. Looks pretty good. This one, like I said, is 50 foot of synthetic rope, and then it's got your cover on it as well. One of the things that I wanted, because I've got a black and white machine, is I wanted an all black setup for the winch. And when I was looking online, most of the cables that you got in kits, even though the winch would be black, is all your cables would be blue, yellow, and red. Well, just looking at it, I can see there's a little yellow indicator, blue indicator, and red indicator, but all the cables are black, which I actually really like, because I think, one, it'll look better installed. You won't hardly even see the wires, but also two, as things start to sun fade, you won't have to worry about you know, a red cable turning pink or something. So that, I mean, that's the overview of the winch. Let me get it a little closer so you guys can kind of see it. I haven't undone it to pull the lead out or the spool it and anything like that, so I don't know how that goes. Looks pretty hefty, well built, and the finish is kind of a satin. So this is obviously everything that came in the box, so let's pull some other stuff out here. Set that back there. Here's your remote. It's a 3-prong setup. Don't remember how long it is, but it looks fairly long. There's the switch itself, and then you can hear it. It actually feels really solid and quality built. Doesn't feel chintzy at all. I can see a rubber seal in there so that the switch is completely water sealed. So that's pretty nice. Here's this guy here. I don't think there's anything too special about this. I think they're all about the same. They're weather sealed. I see some O-rings on those screws. It's actually got painted indicators, which is nice. So that looks fairly standard. This is actually unique. So typically when you get one of these, it's on a cable style winch. On this one, it comes with it even with the synthetic rope instead of just the aluminum fairlead. What's different about this one is this is a plastic material. It's some sort of high, maybe Delrin or something. I think you can find it on their website. I don't remember what they said about it, but I actually kind of like that. It won't get little mars in it or rock, you know, dings where it'll cut your rope up. So that's actually really nice, and it won't fade or paint won't wear off and then it's a different color. Because it's plastic, it'll always be black. So that's actually really nice. And one thing, and I'll just pull it out now, that I saw in a photo, but I don't know if it's actually going to work this way. This is a heavy-duty rubber bumper. Feels pretty good. But what I saw in a photo is that this fits right in between, and then you suck it up tight, and then you just have your hook hanging down so that this sits up against there. And obviously it's got plenty of room to do that. So that's all you'll see in the front with your hook. So I think that's pretty cool. This just looks fairly ordinary. I think some of them are built plastic. This one is a kind of a harder rubber. So that's kind of nice. It's got your hardware there, which it's not black hardware. That's kind of funny when everything else is black, but at any rate, there's that. Set this to the side. Here's a hook. Hook looks pretty standard. It says forged on it, 1/4 inch. And then just got your standard pin, so nothing fancy there. All black though, that's kind of nice. This looks like your leader, pull cable, whatever they call it. Actually feels really good. I don't even think I'll use it, but comes with it, so that's kind of nice. It even has kind of a warning on there, so if you don't know what the heck you're doing. This is all the hardware. I won't open that bag up, but there's all your hardware, black hardware. I'm assuming this is for your mounting plate and everything, which I have a different mounting plate. So this will mount on some of the items that bolt, but the mounting plate and its hardware is different. So I may or may not use that, but at least I have it. Here's a lead. It's already got pre-done connectors on it. Looks fairly long. That doesn't have a connector on it. That must be for the battery. Hardware's already installed. Looks pretty good. It's sealed up pretty well on the back side. Nothing crazy there, but there's a look at it. Let's see if it'll focus. There we go. And that looks pretty standard. One thing I actually want to see is, will the remote control from Warn, the wireless remote, plug into here? I think theirs is a 4 cable or 4 wire. I'm really curious because they have a module that plugs into this inside the cab, and then you've got a 50-foot wireless remote. It's about 130 bucks. If not, they make, KFI makes a remote, but when I was looking at it, it didn't look very special at all. Kind of looked like a key fob, and it didn't look very quality, honestly. Okay, so these are your main power cables. Let's pull them out. See what we've got here. So we've got 2 red wires. They actually have a label on there. Either that or that's just the manufacturer of the shrink wrap. But this is looks pretty well done. Cables feel pretty good. Sometimes you get a cable and it's kind of chalky, and the coating on it, you can tell, just won't hold up to the UV and weather and everything. These look pretty well done, but nothing special. Again, just some cables. Like I said, I do like the indicators for color, and I like that they're all black, and I think that's a nice little extra that you get with the KFI. This is some of the other hardware and stuff and cables. So a bunch of zip ties, which is kind of nice. They provide that. Here's a rocker switch, and I believe this is a illuminated rocker switch. It's a backlit illuminated rocker switch, I'm pretty sure, but fairly standard. Something Carling Technologies. So rocker switch. Here's your cable. Again, looks fairly standard. They've ran some loom over it. Pretty standard connector. It is not weather sealed on the back. I don't think that necessarily matters too much because the switch should get weather sealed. Well, actually no, there's no weather sealing on the back side of that switch. So if you're worried about it and you're pressure washing your unit, maybe that's an issue, but I don't think it will be for me. So there's that. This is the stock plate that came with it. I may even be able to use this. I may not even need the one that came with it, but there you go, there's that. So overall, I like what I'm seeing here as far as all the components. Everything's black. Everything seems to be pretty quality. It's fully inclusive, so it's got everything that you need apparently. Here's some of the paperwork. Got a sticker, an instruction manual, pretty detailed photos and instructions. That should make it pretty easy to install. Product registration, it's just a bag. Then a note about not returning it to the store. And then this is actually paperwork and instructions for the other mount. So this one's a Yamaha Wolverine X4 specific. And then same thing, it's got pretty detailed instructions, made in the USA. So that should make it nice. Yeah, it's got your bolt pattern and everything else ties into the frame. What came with that is these plates that mount into the frame, I believe, and then this mounts to the plate, and then some hardware, nylocks included instead of just lock washers, USS washers as well. That's pretty nice. And then here's the KFI winch mount, welded corner. Fair lead should line up just right. Fair lead lines up. And then this, like I said, is just a specific one. They do say, I think somebody told me from the dealer that with the Assault series being with the wide one, you may have to drill holes. I'm actually curious. Let's just see here. Nope. I don't know if you can see that, but the holes line up just fine. So they say that you may have to drill a hole, but no. The KFI plate with the KFI winch works just fine. So this is just an overview video. I'll show you the winch one more time. There will be, I'll do an install video as well. Obviously it'll be specific to the unit that I'm working on, which is the 2020 Wolverine X4, but the general concept for all units should be the same. I plan on putting a box, relay box inside the unit, and running all LED lights and sound bar, anything else I add off of a relay box. But this I will take back to the battery, and I'll wire this in that way. I'm not going to run a separate relay for that. I'll use what came with this. So again, here it is. Looks fairly hefty, pretty well built. Lead feels pretty nice. Got the release, engage, remote control. So anyway, I'll post another video of the actual install. The reason I wanted to do this is when I was looking at winches, there really was no information, like I said, on the KFI Assault Winch, and I was really intrigued by it. I liked the way it was set up. I liked the way it looked. I liked what it came with, but you couldn't hardly find any information on it. So I wanted to put something out there so that anybody else considering it can take a look as well. So stay tuned, and I'll put a video of the install. See ya.